Welcome to Louisiana Football TV Magazine. I'm your host, Lee Burkeen. We have a great lineup tonight. We've got the head football coach from St. James High School, Robert Valdez, that played at Southern University, one of the best coaches in the state. We got Joshua Fontenot, Coach Josh from Southside, one of the new high schools in the state that has football in Lafayette. We got Union Parish calling in from Ruston, Louisiana. We also have Garrett Temple calling in from the New Jersey Nets. Collis Temple, legendary Collis Temple is here with us, former LSU basketball player and Kentwood native, and Oscar Shoenfelt, sports agent. We're going to talk about the likeness ruling with the NCAA with the future college athletes and much, much more. We got the playoff talk as well. We'll be right back.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back. I want to thank Superior Grill, one of our oldest advertisers. Back when I didn't even have a magazine going, I met Bob Kershoff in New Orleans. He's the owner of the restaurant there on Line Avenue in Shreveport. They're in Birmingham, Alabama. They're on St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. They're on Government Street in Baton Rouge, and their new location is Highland Road, a really good location. Good food, family-owned, love football. Bob played at Northwestern State back in the 70s as an offensive lineman. And we also have our first two guests. We got a great show with a lot of guests today. I'm honored to have not just my friend Oscar Shoenfelt on, who I want to introduce right now, a sports agent still.
Still hanging in there a little bit.
How many years now?
Well, since 1989.
1989.
I don't have any clients right now, but I'm looking for some.
But in the beginning, Stanley Roberts.
I had
Irwin Johnson,
Stanley
Darwin
Roberts, Darvin Ham, Mark Davis, Tim Breaux, Damon Jones. Those are all the NBA players, and I had about 15 NFL players.
We're going to
Rufus
talk.
Porter was the primary.
We're going to talk in the second segment about the NCAA ruling that'll be in effect in the future. Get your thoughts on that. Started in California and Florida, some of these other states, and now it's going to be adopted for all college athletes being able to profit off of their likeness. And to your left, I'm very honored to have the legendary Collis Temple, senior, on our TV show for the first time. I want to say Kentwood native because this show goes to Kentwood. It goes to St. Tammany, Tangible Parish. But people don't know you from Kentwood if they don't know you personally.
That's probably
They know
true.
LSU.
Yeah, the older people know that I'm from Kentwood, but not folk at your age. They think that I'm a Baton Rouge native.
I have to say, Lee, I've known him since the 1970s also.
First African-American basketball player signee at LSU. First.
Interesting times. Very
interesting times.
Interesting times.
We're going to talk about LSU with Collis Temple Sr., but without waiting any longer, because we got a busy son of his, Garrett Temple, is probably going to practice any minute with New Jersey Nets. But Garrett, thanks for calling in all the way from New Jersey. How are you this morning?
Doing well. We
Or is it almost lunchtime in New Jersey?
yes, we're in Brooklyn now, but actually I'm in Utah on a road trip.
Okay.
So it's around 9:45. We got to shoot around at 10 o'clock. So on the West Coast trip, getting ready for our third game on the trip.
Garrett, we have your dad here in studio, and Oscar Shoenfelt, who you know very well, undrafted out of LSU. Very few kids, you're a man now, but very few kids go to the NBA and make a team and become a starter and play 5, 6, 7 years. But you were undrafted, and tell all the kids that watch this show, there's hope. If you have to do it the hard way, you have to prove yourself in the NBA.
Very much so. First of all, thanks again for having me on, and my dad and Mr. Oscar. It's very tough, and I was actually explaining my journey to a couple of my young teammates the other day at a team dinner. This is my 9th NBA team. I've been on 3 NBA G League teams. I've been traded in the G League, been cut in the NBA 6, 7 times, played overseas in Italy 1 year. So it's definitely been a grind, but in my opinion, that's what makes it that much sweeter. That I'm playing my 11th year as a professional basketball player, 10th year in the NBA.
Yeah, that's not every day to get 10 years in, and your defense was noticed at LSU. I mean, you were known as a ball hawk, and continuing that in the NBA. And you know, there's something to be said about playing defense. Not everybody plays defense in the NBA these days, and you're one of the best at doing that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was definitely my calling card. And I think the kids that are listening to this need to understand there are very few people that are going to be James Harden, that are going to be Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. There are the few people that do make it into the NBA do get a shot. More of those guys are going to be like me, and you have to find a niche. You have to find exactly what you can be good at that can translate to playing in the NBA. And for me, that was defense. Butch Pierre, John Treelor, John Brady really pushed me to have that mindset when I was at LSU, and it boded well for me. It got me a career in the NBA. I actually talked to Butch Pierre a couple of days ago and thanked him for that.
You've become a very good shooter in the NBA, and you played at LSU with your brother, Collis Temple Jr., and then your dad. What was it like growing up with a famous dad that was from Kentwood, Louisiana, played football, played basketball? Your dad was a very good basketball player at LSU, averaged 11 rebounds a game, 15 points a game his senior year. What was it like being raised by your dad in this basketball culture? I mean, your dad had did it, before you and your brother played.
Yeah, it was amazing. He learned so much from my grandpa, Collis Temple Sr., and for him to go, I learned more about perseverance and life, really, by growing up and hearing the stories that he had while at LSU. Obviously, basketball was part of that as well. Understanding what hard work does for you, understanding that you don't have to be the best athlete in order to get the best result. And then my oldest brother reiterated all of that. His work ethic was second to none, and that's why his ability to shoot was so great. He worked at it so much as a middle schooler and a high schooler. So whenever he hit those threes at LSU, Collis Temple the third, CT 3 for 3. And then when I went, they laid it out for me. I was so blessed to have a dad and then an older brother that went through what I was going through. And then also at the NBA level, my father being able to play there, understanding some of the nuances of the NBA. So I was just so blessed to have guys that went through what my dream was and were able to show me different things that I needed to do to continue that.
Well, Garrett, I appreciate you taking the time all the way in Utah to be on. I know you're busy, and good luck with your games, and good luck with the season with the New Jersey Nets this year.
Much appreciated. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to take a break in about 10 seconds. I want to promote that we're going to talk about the playoffs. Kentwood's one of them. St. James, we have their head coach on tonight, Robert Valdez. Southside's in the playoffs. Their coach is with us tonight, Josh Fontenot. And also Union Parish, their coach is going to be calling in. If you don't know where Union Parish is, it's by Ruston, Louisiana, and they've got a pretty good football team also. But we're also going to have Oscar Shoenfelt, Collis Temple, talking football and basketball. We'll be right back in just a moment.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with your injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The Wright Group has been dedicated to enriching lives for over 100 years. With its roots in Louisiana, it branches across the U.S. and around the world. The Wright Group is a key supplier and contributor to the functional food, sports nutrition, supplement, and health and fitness markets, supplying customized nutritional blends, vitamin and mineral premixes, and microencapsulated ingredients, leading the way in customer service and innovation, fueling the way we live. The right team, the Wright Group.
Welcome back, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. And if you want to get a magazine, they came out this summer. You can use it for the playoffs as a guide with all the teams. All these teams are in it. And we do a North magazine now and a South. One time a year, every August, 23 years. Started 23 years ago. I want to go ahead and show some pictures of our guests. I don't know who we're going to have first here, but we got Collis Temple pictures. We also got, oh man, this is LSU photo, Collis.
Back in 70.
Lifting some weights back then, too,
71, huh? I mean, I was a little thin, probably lean. It looked like muscle, but it was just lean tissue. And I had an afro.
This is your NBA days?
Yeah, Swin Nader, Rich Jones, Kobe Dietrich, myself. When I was with the Spurs.
You had the Dr. J dude back in the day.
Yeah. I had to guard that guy. He was a tough guard, man. I'm gonna tell you, he was a tough guard. But I was 16 years old there. That was Coach Maravich and my dad in my home when I signed to play for LSU. And that was.
That's what your boys.
Yeah, we were doing a little segment on LSU basketball, and that was a nice segment.
And Oscar, you wanted to mention about Garrett, that he's in the running for, tell him,
well,
NBA.
He's going to be the head of the Players Association is what I hear and what I predict. And
that's a big deal.
One thing I want to say about Garrett is, and it's a compliment to Collis. I've known Garrett since he was young. My son and Garrett played together, but I went over to Collis's house one time, and I happened to wander in. I think I was walking by Garrett's room, and I look in there, and I see Garrett on the bed reading, just immersed in a book. And Collis says he really encouraged him to do that. So I think for all the players, it's not just what you do on the field or on the court. It's how you prepare yourself for life, which is what Garrett was talking about. So that's something to keep in mind. Take advantage of your opportunities to get an education, and you can see what you can accomplish.
Right now, the NCAA has approved the likeness for college athletes, men and women from all sports. It'll be coming up where it'll actually happen in the future years. What's your take on that, Oscar, from a standpoint of being an agent and being a part of the process? What do you?
Well, my take on it is that it obviously was something that the NCAA had to do when you had this legislation in California and 7 or 8 other states that had been introduced, which I'm sure legislatures of other states, including LSU, as the #1 team in the country, Go Tigers, would have had to have done anyway. So the issue is going to be how are they going to implement that, and how are you going to make it fundamentally fair to all the athletes? And we were talking to some of the young men, the high school players recently, and it's like, well, how do you feel if your quarterback pulls up in a Mercedes-Benz and you're stuck there driving a small car? Because I think realistically, when you look at this, it's not going to affect that many players as far as getting endorsements. I mean, when you look at the LSU team, how many guys were actually able to go out and get endorsements? People would pay them for their likeness. I don't know. I mean, there's a few on there, but then you have the inequity of the other players. Plus, if you're looking at revenue-producing sports, I mean, football generally is the largest revenue-producing sport, but the rest of the athletes are there on scholarship. I mean, basketball produces some revenue, and baseball.
The skill guys are going to have to take care of the linemen.
Right. Joe Burrow he'll get cars for all
It's not just taking them out to eat. The O&D linemen are the guys that never get the attention, the trenches. That's where you win the ball games.
Right.
And so the skill guys, right, Collis, they're going to get all the opportunities, the DBs, the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks. I think the punters and kickers will be left out unless they kick a game-winning national championship game or something.
Right.
But and in other sports, track, I don't know. I mean, you get that if you go pro. I don't know if you're getting a lot of endorsements in track. Basketball, a little bit.
Realistically, I mean, you're looking at the main sport where you can have younger players that you can identify they're going to be great professionals is basketball. I mean, generally speaking, you can't do that with the other sports, and I think that's going to make cure itself because I think in the next few years you're going to see the NBA start allowing 18-year-olds to be drafted, and a lot of these guys, you look at the balls, for example. I mean, they're playing in overseas right now.
And Collis, I want to mention, because people, again, look at your background with basketball and LSU and your love for LSU basketball, your 2 boys playing at LSU, but you love Kentwood. You're from Kentwood. You still keep up with Kentwood football.
I do.
And you like it, because I talked to you last year, and we both, I mean, I agree with you. You said the fastest team in the state of Louisiana last year was Kentwood.
That's correct.
And this year, I still think they're probably the fastest team in the state.
Even with Trey Palmer, who last year set the composite state record in the 200, who's now an LSU receiver, and he left Kentwood High last year. He's a real special talent, but still in all, Kentwood has about at least 8 guys on their current football team out of about 38 players, about 8 of them who run better than a 4.5 40-yard dash.
Some of those guys are Cornelius Dyson, Rodarian Robins, Keandre Fultz. Bryce Cooper's a linebacker. He still runs a 4.7 at 240.
That's right.
5'10 and a half, 150 tackles last year.
That's right.
And Jonathan Foster, the former A-Meet great, is the head coach. They lost Edward McGee to Southeastern last year, who's doing great. That's another speedster. And Trevon Hookfin. The Hookfins are a long family line of family.
Long litany of guys.
Demetrius Hookfin played at LSU.
That's right. A long litany of guys have been the Hookfin family, and they continue. They have a lot of tradition. And when you think about athletics, the fact of the matter is, genetically, you pass on intellect, and genetically you pass on fast twitch, and genetically you pass on speed. So what you're seeing now are guys who are grandsons and great-grandsons of people, and we've always had a lot of speed in Kentwood. We've always had a lot of speed.
Knowledge is power.
Correct.
And dads, sons of dads that played football like a Joe Burrow. Dad's a coach.
That's correct.
I think he won the Heisman Saturday. What do you think?
I'd vote for him for sure, but
probably so.
Yeah, we got to finish the season out too.
Right.
So.
And when you think about those genetics, I mean, Eli Manning and Peyton Manning, those weren't accidents. I mean, this guy Manning was a hell of a football player in New Orleans. That's correct.
Who's the next one?
I guess we know why my son didn't make it into the pros then.
But he'll be a great lawyer.
You were an O-lineman at Captain Street.
I was an O-lineman. I was fast and strong, but extremely uncoordinated. They called me Stonehands, Lee.
Oscar, any final thoughts? Your high school's in the playoffs, Captain Street, the Gators. Got a chance?
Go Gators, go Tigers. I'm really watching LSU has been a pleasure this year, and I've known Collis since the 70s, and I have to say he's done great for LSU and his kids, and he's just a fine man. So
you teach at LSU?
I did. I don't
Possibly
do that anymore.
Again?
Yes. So,
did that for years?
Anyway, yeah, Collis has been my friend for a long time, and I think you can talk about all the sports and whatever, but he does a lot also for the Kentwood community. He's still very involved over there, and he wouldn't talk about that, but I'll give him some accolades for that.
Loves
also.
LSU, not just played at LSU, but still goes to all the games. I see Collis at basketball games and football games, and heavily involved in the community, helps a lot of kids and people. We're going to go ahead and take a break, guys. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for taking the time, Collis.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting us.
Do I get a Superior Bar and Grill coupon? That's my only question.
Don't leave. I have the certificates here for you. And also we've got some Louisiana seasonings for everybody.
Good.
We'll be right back.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No nation's even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Before I introduce our two coaches, I want to just talk about them and just brag on these guys. Two of the best young coaches in the state that care about young men. Wherever they go, they do well. Josh Fontenot was coaching in Florida, made his way to Sacred Heart, Crowley High School, where I met him at Crowley, did a great job at Crowley. Now he's at Southside in the Lafayette area. Southside High School is a newer school. They're 5A. They're in their first 3 years, their first year playing football in the LHSA, and they're competing. And then there's Robert Valdez, who has been at McKinley. He's been at Scotlandville, West St. John, played at Southern University, was an all-conference offensive lineman for Pete Richardson, and currently St. James has them as a powerhouse right now does a great job. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Coming all the way from the Lafayette area, Josh, and all St. James, River Parishes.
Thank you. I get a chance to cheat on my diet today because I'm not going to be able to get the prepackaged meal and all that from home, so I get to stop somewhere to eat. That's very
exciting.
You're
going to get the Superior Grill gift certificate.
Yeah, we go there.
It's playoff time. It's a good thing. It's a nervous, good feeling. All right, we know who we're playing. What do? We're studying film on the other team. I know you guys probably already watched your opponent. Robert, you got Mansfield of Shreveport. Not a bad team.
No, I mean, there's a lot of history and tradition at Mansfield, and it's very symbolic because Mike Green, who was a former teammate of mine at Southern University, is the head coach there. Right. So there's a lot of some ties there, but they're young, but they're huge. What Coach and I were talking about once you get north of Alexandria, how I don't know what they're feeding them up there or something like that. So they get to come down to beautiful downtown Vacherie, and we'll see if our style of football translates to our speed and their
And they
size.
get to eat good.
They're going to eat good. I told Coach already, try to see if I can soften them up a little bit. They get some jambalaya after the game. That's what we do after.
Mansfield's known for Melvin Hill, Mark, the Hill family. Speaking of, Collis Temple was talking about the heritage. Chris Hill, who's the athletic director, was 6'5", receiver at LSU. They had 4 or 5 go to LSU in a 2-year span. A lot of talent there. They had Fakar Brown play DB for the Saints. They've had a lot of All-Americans play at Mansfield. Southside coach, sticking in Shreveport, Bossier.
Right. Yeah.
You have another North Louisiana opponent in Airline.
And they're huge as well. It's Airline's good. Airline 8-2. I think they won their district this year. Beat some good teams. The size stands out. Quarterback's good. The secondary is very good. This will be a good challenge for us. We're just, for where we're at with our school development, we're just happy we're in. We're excited to have a playoff game. We're excited to get on the road, get on buses. Our boys have never experienced that. Our seniors who kind of sacrificed a couple years of having a chance to play varsity ball, it's a good reward for them. I'm happy for those guys.
You kids play hard. It's new. Y'all playing 5A teams in a tough district. No weak opponents.
No, none
and
at
in
all.
the playoffs.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, you finish the season 6-4. I think just for the circumstances, it's something to be proud of. It's not something that we want to be satisfied with. Hopefully we get to the point where for us 6-4 is a disappointing year. But right now, very proud of what the boys and the school, our administration has accomplished in a short time.
Your quarterback, we're going to show some highlights. Dylan Monette is like Houdini.
Yeah.
He's a junior, kind of like Shamar Smith at St. James. We're going to talk about coaches, players. We got highlights first. We'll go Southside. Here's Southside in the gray. This is Dylan at quarterback. He can chunk it and he can run. This is at Turlings Catholic's field, but this guy here can move his feet. He can make plays. He's got a feel for the pocket and feel for that rush. But you got a receiver, Rhett Pellegrin, who's phenomenal.
He is. Rhett's flying under the radar. I think just because of our development in a year where we didn't have any varsity reps last year or any against 5A schools, where a kid like you see with Rhett goes under the radar, and he's going to make somebody a really good football player.
He's got a knack to
someday.
cut, move, win those 50-50 balls. And
perfect routes, strong hands. He also, a perfect example of Rhett, last week we played New Iberia. He intercepted the ball on the 2-yard line, and then the next play goes 98 yards for a touchdown. So Rhett's somebody we're really, really proud of. He's
number 88, your tight end's a heck of a player. Talk about your tight end.
Connor's great, man. Connor is a physical tight end. He's another one, flew under the radar. He's going to make 6'4" by 235. He's going to make somebody a really good football player. Not afraid to stick his nose in there and block. Great
He's
hands.
wide as a receiver, wide out as a wide.
We're able to do a lot with him. And he also puts his hand in dirt and plays a little bit of defense for us. So.
You don't see a lot of big guys catching balls downfield.
Not a lot. We use him a lot of different ways. He's a great player for us. And he's one of those seniors who, both of those guys, they could have been varsity players for 2 years somewhere, and they kind of sacrificed some some varsity time to come over here and start a school.
St. Thomas more to come
That's right.
join up with.
That's right. So as a kid, we're really proud of. But Connor, you see him here. He's not afraid to block. He's gonna make somebody a really, really good player.
Good offensive line and aggressive defense. Number 22, Jake.
Jake Held is this is Jack Pruitt's highlights. Jack's another one. Jack's a junior for us. Jack's played every position on the field except quarterback, and if I would let him, he would. He does it all. We give him sweeps. We hand it to him in the backfield, inside receiver, outside receiver. You kind of see his speed here. He's elusive, and he squares people up, and he's got a little extra gear to take off. So Jack Pruitt and Dylan Monette in the junior class are some people that we're really happy about.
When we come back, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk about St. James High School. We're going to have highlights of Robert Valdez's players. Shamar Smith, one of the best senior athletes in the state, coach at Southside. His quarterback's only a junior. And also we have one of his top linemen in studio. We're going to talk about him later. We've got Union Parish's coach calling in next segment as well. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
The reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
The Wright Group has been dedicated to enriching lives for over 100 years. With its roots in Louisiana, it branches across the U.S. and around the world. The Wright Group is a key supplier and contributor to the functional food, sports nutrition, supplement, and health and fitness markets, supplying customized nutritional blends, vitamin and mineral premixes, and micro-encapsulated ingredients, leading the way in customer service and innovation, fueling the way we live. The right team, the Wright Group.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We're going to go back to St. James, Coach Valdez, but before that, we got a call in from one of the top coaches in North Louisiana from Union Parish High School. If you're from South Louisiana, that's by Ruston, Louisiana. He's got a heck of a team. I've watched Union Parish on film, and Coach Joe Spatafora, what a great job you're doing. Your record doesn't speak for your ability because your schedule is so tough.
No doubt. You know, we do take pride in our schedule and playing those tough teams, and I think it's this time of the year when they'll pay off.
Yeah, I mean, y'all going to be ready for whoever you play. You've got two 6'4", 230-pound tight ends that block like SEC tight ends. Your O-line is 300 pounds, 6'3" across. You got a great quarterback that is a, 5'5", Coach Trent Ginn, but he's a heck of a playmaker.
A heck of a playmaker. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, that's the one thing we've been waiting on all year is that the O-line is huge and they're athletic, but they were just still learning. They were all pretty much new except Dalton Hogue. And so those guys have gotten better every week. And then that freshman Trey Holly, we knew he was going to be special. And here, him and Ginn have both already rushed for over 1,000. So, you know, something special going into the postseason.
Coach, we got 2 South Louisiana coaches in studio that can hear you, and we were bragging about how the kids are a lot taller up in North Louisiana. You got a 6'5" receiver, Dylan Harris. You got a couple of 6'4" tight ends. Where did all this height come from? I mean, you're always pretty tall at wideout, it seems, in tight end.
We are, you know, and too bad we're a power run team for the most part. And these guys don't get a lot of recognition, but I tell you, you know, we do try to get them the ball, and they do a great job of blocking on the perimeter for us. And a lot of them play in our secondary as well. But yeah, you have those years where you feel like you don't have those big guys, and then all of a sudden this year we looked around in the spring and we go, gosh, look how big we are this year, and it's been a blessing.
Coach, I want to brag on 2 of your senior recruits that should be getting D1 offers. I think they're grown men. If you see the film, Robert Valdez, who's here, a former lineman, would agree with me. But you got an O-lineman named Dalton Hogue that's 6'2", 320, runs, looks like a 4'8" when he pulls. He means business. And then you got Jason Halsley, 6'1", 251, playing DN that runs about a 4'7". What do you think of those 2 kids?
I'm going to tell you, those are my 2 leaders. They do a wonderful job. Big Hogue, he's the anchor of that offensive line, and like you said, that young man can pull, and he has an anger about it. You know, he works out on hang clean, power clean with 315. I mean reps. And then Jason Halsey, I mean, gosh, that kid. I've coached some good D linemen, and he's got to be the best. The kid can move right to left. He plays in space, and he's a man on the field.
Coach, those guys are built like concrete, those linemen. I mean, they're put together. Like Coach Valdez says, he orders tight jerseys so they're not overweight during the season.
That's right. That's right.
Coach, good luck to you Friday night. I want you to promote your program. I'm glad we're able to promote your kids, and good luck to you for the rest of the season and playoffs.
Yes, sir. We sure appreciate everything you do for the sports and the high school and the college and everything in the state of Louisiana.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Thank
That's
you.
Union Parish. You don't want to play them, Coach Valdez. They kind of look like your team. A little bigger. We're going to your team next. Okay. We're going to brag about your guys, but you've got one of the most underrated, I think, national recruit quarterback/athletes, Shamar Smith. He's a D1, but I think he's special.
He is. You know, we've grown up together. And since the 8th grade and all that, so he's electric. You know, we put the ball in his hands every play, move him the quarterback. Should be playing receiver, kick returner, but you know, I think you got your best athlete. You put the ball in his hand every play, so therefore, it minimizes every 4 or 5 attempts. He gets it every down.
Savion Jones is a big DN. That's going to be a big recruit. Here's your guys right here. You've got a lot of speed.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on speed. There's something in the river down there that must be in the water. That's Shamar right there returning a punt. I think he scored 7 touchdowns that night. He threw a couple, he ran a couple, and he had 2 punt returns that night. And it's just
Robert, where will you think? Do you think it's the school depending on position? Because he can play quarterback.
He can play quarterback, but I think that his skill set is more or less a slot receiver nowadays, or how people are using receivers with RPOs and stuff like that. He's more of an inside guy that can get the bubbles, the screens, and isolate matchup problems and all that. I just think that sometimes schools get a little bit too caught up on size and intangibles and things like that of that nature, but his body of work for 4 years, I mean, he's been doing it since a freshman.
He's taller than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he is.
Kyler's 5'9".
It's just this year, for some reason, the coach will tell you, the receiving pool is very, very thick.
Very deep. Yeah.
It's very deep. So, trying to identify niches and, I tell them all the time, somebody has to fall in love with you. That's how recruiting works. Someone has to fall in love with you. And then, but his body of work of what he's doing so far and what he's done for us at St. James High School has been phenomenal.
We'll talk about Donald Nelson, O-lineman, who's a recruit. Chase Geeson,
Right.
big DN, 6'4".
Right.
You've had a great year with Brad Baptiste, 6 interceptions.
Yeah, he's really playing well. I mean, they keep challenging him, and he just keeps answering the bell. So just excited about those guys. A lot of these guys are program guys that's been with us for, going on now. This is their 4th year. This is a senior group, and we're just going to take this trip as far as we can.
Tyler's another Tyler Steve.
Tyler's another guy, that I think if you'd asked Tyler 2 years ago if he'd have been a football player or baseball player, he would have probably picked baseball. But he's growing the program. Has another one down there. That's a football name. The Stives in Vacherie and St. James, and he anchors. He's almost like a quarterback on defense. So
DeAndre Keller is going to join us with your quarterback, Shamar. He's another big-time D tackle.
I love him. He's an anchor. He's a defensive lineman. He plays both ways. Offensive line, he's a utility guy basically on offensive line. We play him at center, at guard and tackle, and then defensive tackle.
We're going to take a break, and DeAndre Keller, 6'2", 270, can run. We'll be right back with Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We want to talk about the playoffs. It's that time of year where all our parents are nervous and happy, and you got the bands, the cheerleaders, the former players, the former alumni, graduates. Everybody wants to go to the playoff game. It's going to be on TV, not going to be on TV. It's going to be private schools, public schools. There's going to be two different sites. One's not known yet. Coach Fontenot, from your side of it, playing on the public side, any thoughts, any discussion on where it might be played?
Oh, I can't.
Because we don't even know.
No. Yeah. No idea. If it doesn't happen outside of Southside walls, I kind of don't know what's going on.
St. James, same thing.
It's funny you said that because I adopted this saying, I'm not looking for nothing that's not coming my way. So,
there you go. Just coach. Coach,
we just
win.
kind of just coach and take care of our business, and I think that they need to take care of that. And work
well, the public schools are going to be in the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
The private schools, yet to be determined. So we still don't know where the private schools are going to play their state championship games as of today. Division I, my thoughts, guys chime in. I like Rummel, John Curtis, and Catholic. It's a small bracket, same guys, same people playing each other. Rummel beat Curtis during the season. I'm taking John Curtis to win it all.
Ooh. That's, John Curtis has to go through Catholic.
Catholic High Baton
That
Rouge.
side of the bracket is very heavy, and Rummel, they've been
Brother
stout.
Martin.
And Brother Martin, they've been stout. So it should be interesting. I mean, you're talking about that's SEC-type football there with those guys.
Division II, I like St. Thomas more to win that. They've got basically like a pro team, kind of similar to the U-High team last year. They got two D1 quarterbacks. Jamie Howard's son, Walker Howard, is a future national recruit, and he's the backup.
Yeah, they're good.
De La Salle is going to be really good in that other side. Parkview Baptist might be the sleeper. I'm not giving picks on every class. I'm going to kind of narrow it to three teams. And these two guys here, I got to pick them as winners right now. But Division III, Lafayette Christian, they're built like an NFL team right now. Notre Dame, don't forget about Louis Cook on the other side of the bracket. And don't forget about Frank Monica at St. Charles Catholic on the other side of the bracket, right, Robert?
I mean, Frank has been doing it forever, so they're going to be well coached. Special teams, phenomenal, so they're going to be hard to beat.
Class 5A, you got Acadiana on one side, Zachary, East Ascension, Hahnville. They're all championship teams that have been to the Dome in the last 10 years. On the other side, I like Houghton as a sleeper, Slidell, Destrehan, West Monroe, Mandeville. I like Southside to make some noise. Yeah. Coach, I like your team to make.
We're planning on it. We're going to try. It's going to be hard for somebody to beat Acadiana. They in our district. Coach McCullough has them playing as good as any team I've faced.
Class 3A, you know, I put my foot in my mouth. I didn't realize Union Parish was on the same side as St. James. But yes, Coach, that might happen before the Dome. And then I got Booker T. Washington, a good-looking team I've seen. Madison Prep's on that side. Mm-hmm. The other side, Lake Charles Prep, phenomenal team. Mm-hmm. They might be the other opponent when it's said in a Church Point. Don't sleep on Church Point.
Play Church Point.
Sterlington, great team out of Monroe. Hayes Crockett's a quarterback. McDonough 35, they're close every year.
Right.
Yeah.
I really, not because we're in 3A. If you look at 3A, it's probably got to be the most balanced division in the state with the quality of programs that's in the playoffs. And, I mean, you're talking about these games that are going to be coming up are going to be phenomenal. Because
no weak matchups.
No, there's none.
4A on the public side, Lakeshore's the 1 seed. I like Warren Easton maybe to win that side. They're a low seed, but, man, they played a tough schedule with McDonough 35 and, you know, Carver and all those teams they play, Landry Walker. On the other side, Edna Carr, they've won it 6 of the last 7 years. It's crazy. Until somebody beats them. Bro Bridge has improved. Bell Chase is a sleeper. Assumption has a good team. And Mendon out of Shreveport is, to me, one of the sleeper teams. Westgate and also Neville. Neville's the 2 seed. That's a crazy side, guys.
Yeah. Neville's good. We've scrimmaged Westgate. They got some amazing players. Karen Crow, too. Don't sleep on Karen Crow.
Don't sleep on them. They got
Karen
speed and size. Cool. Class 1A on the public side, West St. John's the 1 seed. I watched Homer play. They got a big-time running back, and when you got a big-time player on offense, you got a chance. Oak Grove, I think it's going to be Oak Grove or West St. John on one side. On the other side, somebody's going to get a visit for the first time, I think, out of White Castle, East Iberville, and Oberlin.
That side there is kind of up in the air. You know, don't forget about old Haynesville.
Haynesville.
They're on that side of the bracket. I just really believe that is West St. John's opportunity to run the
Haynesville's down to 25 players this year, which is the first time in 20 years, Coach.
Yeah.
Division 1A private side, Vermilion Catholics 1. Drew Leger is a great quarterback. Mm-hmm. Central Catholic, don't sleep on them. Ouachita Christian. Calvary Baptist got a great team. On the other side, Ascension Catholic's been to the Dome 3 years in a row. Southern Labs got talent. Cedar Creek's very talented with a 250-pound running back. And Opelousas Catholic.
You said 250-pound.
250-pound running back, 6'1", can run. Class 2A, I like Faraday, but Kentwood is going to be my winner, the 6th seed. I'm going to take Kentwood because they played the tough schedule compared to their competition in the playoffs. We're going to take a break, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Coaches, good luck Friday night. We're going to come back with the recruits, DeAndre Keller and Shamar Smith. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with your injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We have two of the top recruits in the state. Shamar Smith, the quarterback from St. James, has been the starter. Shamar, 4 years?
4 years.
As a freshman.
Yes,
You know, that's hard to do.
Very hard.
How old were you as a freshman? You were 13? 14?
14.
What are you thinking when you're in the river parishes at a tough school where the pressure's on you, you're the leader of the team, and you're starting as a freshman? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous, but I had to adapt to the game faster. But, well, it looked like it pays off, you know, so.
You've had a great 4 years, but it's not over yet.
Yes, sir.
You got the playoffs starting up. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited to take it week by week, focus on our man, the opponent that week.
What do you think of your lineman to your left, DeAndre Keller? DeAndre, thanks for joining us, too.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have big guys like this, huh, Shamar, on your team.
Big monster.
Coach Valdez said that you, DeAndre, on the track team, relays.
Yes, sir.
270 in weight, 6'2". Now, most guys on relays weigh about 160, 170, maybe 180. So you're 90 pounds bigger than anybody doing relays. How'd you fare? You did pretty good?
Yes, sir. Like what I thought, at least like I wouldn't try to, you know, be last. That was my thing.
When you're 90 pounds bigger, anybody you beat is an accomplishment out there. But 100 meters, I mean, have you ever run the 100 meters?
Yes, sir.
What was your best time?
I wasn't worrying about time.
Okay, that's a good answer. You're just giving it your all, though.
Yes, sir.
Shamar, what's the key to victories the next few weeks? Obviously, I'm saying weeks.
Yeah.
To get to that state championship game. What's the key to this team getting there?
We got to do the small things. We got to be more disciplined. We got to be focused on the game plan and trust the process.
What do you think of all this college recruiting?
Well, it's nice. You better enjoy it where you can, you know, and settle and go to somewhere that they want you at.
You're committed to UT San Antonio. Frank Wilson, former quarterback from St. James, is there. Narcisse.
Yeah.
Did that help with having a St. James native there already? Did that help your decision?
Yeah, it helped it a little bit, but I went to UTSA and they looked like they wanted me there. So it's a nice program. I like what they're doing up there and what they're building around.
DeAndre, what do you need to work on for the college level? I know you can run, you play hard, you got good feet. You could be a DN, you could bulk up the D tackle, you could play Mike linebacker. What do you think you need to work on for college?
I would say I would need to work on my ACT score and just being more dominant than what I am.
River Parish football, where does it rank, you think, schedule-wise? It's some of the toughest football in the state, right? West St. John, St. James, Lutcher.
Yes,
I mean, there's nobody weak. St. Charles Catholic. Is there any weak teams in the River Parishes?
No, sir. It's been like that since I was in 9th grade. It's just competition. You know everybody, you know, and you know the game gonna be hype, and it's like a playoff type game.
Any former players from St. James that you look up to or that you see on the wall, like a Chad Jasmine or a Corey Webster, anybody stick out, Shamar, that you? Oh,
I look at all of them, especially the 1979 class since they went to the championship and won it. So.
That was the last state championship team, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to break that?
Well, yes, sir. We're going to try. Just taking one game at a time.
Coach Valdez has been like a father figure to all his teams. He comes in and sets up discipline. He has his teams ready. He played college ball at Southern, was a great offensive lineman from O.P. Walker. And I don't want to say Landry, or O.P. Walker. What's it like to have a coach that's like a dad that cares so much like Coach does?
It's like playing for like your 40 weeks, so it's like it's someone to have your back. Like, you know, you just go play for somebody and you don't know they have their back, but Coach Val have our back through anything. So it's a blessing to have Coach Val at St. James.
DeAndre, what have you learned since Coach was a lineman in college? I'm sure you picked up some tricks, right? Tricks of the trade?
Yes, sir. Like,
you know, just take the right steps and everything's going to fall in place.
Any message for your teammates?
Message for our teammates, stay level-headed, be humble, and trust the process.
DeAndre, your teammate here is committed. Shamar's committed. But
yes, sir.
What is recruiting for you? How do you see it? Is distance a factor? Do you want to stay in state, or does that really matter?
It really doesn't matter because I want to go to a school that allows me to become successful in life, and that's it.
Hobbies, guys. What do you do when you're not lifting weights and playing football? Shamar?
Probably working out or playing video games.
Video games?
Yeah.
What about DeAndre?
Same, working out, playing video games, and just chilling.
We've got some footage here, guys. We want to show you off a little bit. On St. James is DeAndre Keller and also Shamar Smith. We're about to pull that up right now, but this is on defense. We got DeAndre. St. James is in the black and gold there, man. That's you making an outside tackle, not inside. That's hard, man, to run outside and do that. That's that track background of yours to be able to get outside. And then Shamar, we've got some film on you. Maybe a little more on DeAndre right here. No, this is you returning a punt. You don't just play quarterback.
Yeah.
Not many quarterbacks are returning punts. This is a heck of a return. And then you go back in to play quarterback in a couple of minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you like most about returning punts for your team? I mean, you're a quarterback. You can't get hurt, but you're a tough kid.
Well, returning punts is like you taking a chance. Like I see it as life. Like you gotta make the right decision.
Look at him juking these guys, DeAndre. I mean, you don't even have to block for this guy, huh?
Oh, sir.
You have a feel for the game, Shamar. I mean, you can tell you've got a high IQ of the game. And DeAndre, wish you the best of luck. Shamar, wherever you go to college and in the playoffs, hope y'all win the state championship. I want to thank all our guests. Watch the show all week long statewide. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Thanks for Marriott as our sponsor, hotel sponsor, and Superior Grill, and all our sponsors, Lieber King, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We'll see you next week.